Today we're going to barbecue some baby back ribs on the Cabela's pellet grill. Let's get started. Hello everybody, Chef Bob here today, and we're going to make some baby back ribs on the Cabela's pellet grill. So we're going to use a 3-2-1 method. You've seen me use this one before. I made the Masterbuilt electric smoker a rib video. This one's going to be just slightly different because we're going to cater it to the pellet grill. I use the wood pellets if you're not familiar with it, and when we go outside I'll just give you a quick rundown of the Cabela's pellet grill. So we have 2 racks of baby back ribs. Membrane's been removed on the other side, and we're going to use a rub, a packaged rub. You can make your own or buy any rub you prefer. Today we'll be using Bad Byron's butt rub, and I'm also going to use some mustard. Now there's 2 ways to do this. For step 1, for the 3-2-1 method, it's 3 phases. First phase is 3 hours just with a dry rub and a low temperature smoke, about 225 or less. We're going to be using the high smoke mode on the Cabela's. I'll show you that's about 200 to 210 degrees roughly. So that'll be for 3 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one with just the rub by itself. And just sprinkle your rub on here. And just make sure it's coated thoroughly. You want a lot of rub on here, because this stage we're adding flavor in this stage. A lot of flavor. We're getting the smoke and the rub. And this is one of the key things, is to go 3 hours, low temperature, and develop this delicious flavor. So you see, it's very simple. Just coat these ribs. Don't be afraid to get this rub in there. I'm going to do the second rack of ribs here slightly differently, as you'll see in a second. So you see this one's thoroughly coated, right? Get that little spot. Now, there's another technique a lot of people like to do to help make the rub stick. Now, as you see, the rub sticks fairly well by itself, but a lot of people prefer this method. And I'm going to do this, and this might even work out for some of you depending on your pellet grill if it tends to run a little hot. We're going to put a coat of just plain vanilla mustard on here first. And that's the trick a lot of people do. It adds a little bit of tanginess, but for the most part the mustard flavor actually disappears from the smoking process, and just with the other flavors you're really not going to taste much of the mustard at the end. It's going to be a little bit there, but not much. And this will also help it to excuse me, the rub got in my throat here. The mustard will also help create maybe a little bit more of a bark on here, but well, you'll see. So now I got that side coated. Now we're going to flip it over. I'm going to put mustard on here also on the other side. Make sure you get it all over there on the ends too. Just rub that mustard in. And again, the same thing with the dry rub. Just make sure you get it all on there. Now, since you have the mustard on there, you don't have to rub it in as much as you saw me rub the first rack, where I had to, make sure it would stick by rubbing it in. Here the mustard's going to do all the work for you like a glue. So we're just doing that. So now, once you have your rub or your mustard and rub, your rack should look like this. So now I'm going to take these outside to the pellet grill and show you how to get these started. Let's go outside. Okay, we're outside with the Cabela's pellet grill. Now, as you see, there's a couple of unique features about the Cabela's pellet grill. I believe it's made by Camp Chef, so if you can't find the Cabela's near you, you may want to check out Camp Chef. This has a nice window on your pellet hopper, and if you're not familiar with pellet grills, these are your wood pellets, and you can get them in a variety of flavors like hickory, mesquite, different blends, cherry, apple. So the Cabela's or the Camp Chef, they have this nice window to show you the level of your pellets, which a lot of other pellet grills do not have. It also has the built-in probe to put in your meat besides the chamber temperature, so you have the dual temperatures. You also have a dedicated low and high smoke mode. Today we're going to use high smoke, which is about 200 to 210 degrees. Low smoke is more like 175. It also has a hopper empty out chute in the back if you want to change the flavor of your pellets. You can do that. A lot of other grills don't have that feature. And the thing I like the most is you can't see, but underneath is the ash cup to empty it. All the other pellet grills, you have to use a shop vac when you're done to clean them out, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Under here, there's a nice little cup. There's a handle here. You open up the chamber, it empties the ashes in the cup. You empty the ash cup. Real simple, easy, about a minute to do it, or less than a minute. So those are the unique features of this. The window on the hopper, the empty out chute in the back, and the ash empty cup. Oh, and there's also the window on the grill itself, I forgot to point out. So we have it preheated. It says it's 228, which is about perfect, because normally you do 225 for a 3-2-1. So we're just going to put our racks in there. Remember, we have the one with just the dry rub and the other one with the mustard and the dry rub. So let's see if I can get these in here. Okay. So that's basically it. We're going to leave them in here for 3 hours on the high smoke mode, which is about, what did I say, 228. That's a little, we'll probably vary down. Oh, I'm sorry, now it's down from opening up, well, it's down from opening it up to about 200. But it should should settle in around maybe 210-ish, maybe 215. That'll be perfect. So high smoke, 3 hours with the rub, one with mustard, one without. And I'll see you back in about 3 hours when we go to step 2. Okay everybody, it's been a little over 3 hours. This is the end of phase 1 where we just do with the rub, the dry rub, or the dry rub with mustard, and I had it on the high smoke mode. And we had it running at about 215 degrees, which is the high smoke on the Cabelas or the Camp Chef pellet grills. Just as an FYI, if you're interested in how much the wood pellets went down, it was filled to the top when I started. And it's been actually about 3.5 hours, and I'm down maybe, oh I don't know, inch and a half, so it's not that much. It didn't even make it to the window yet. It doesn't even show as any being used up yet, so it uses very little pellets. So let's take a look. They're looking mighty fine. They're probably going to be very, very tender, so I'm trying to think of the best way to get them off here without them falling apart. Let's see. Oh, okay, they're holding together better than I thought. So here you have our 2 slabs after the first phase of 3 hours at 215. It's supposed to be 225, in between 200 and 225 for the first 3 hours. So let's go inside and I'll show you how we prep them for the next step. Okay, we're back inside. I just took them off the grill. You saw me outside. They're red hot. At this phase, this is phase 2. It's a 2-hour phase, and you normally want to cover them. You wrap them in foil, and you put some type of juice. So you can use a cherry juice, pineapple juice, common as apple. And what I like to do though is, what happens if you wrap them in foil? You should probably double wrap to make sure they don't puncture through. But if a bone punctures through and you don't realize it, and you lose your juices, what happens is it's going to get dried out in phase 2, and it's going to pretty much ruin, that rack. It's not going to come out the way you want. So in order to avoid that possibility, I try to use a large pan, some large pan which will accommodate them for the most part. So I'm going to try to use these 9x13s with this metal cover. They work great, and I've used them before for this purpose, so sometimes we have to trim the ribs a little, but let's see how they work out. So for this one, I think we can get it to fit with just a little persuasion. There we go. That one fits. Now this one, I think we're going to have to cut this one. Just a little bit. Yeah, so you know what we'll do? We'll just cut it. I'll just cut it in half. Right about there, I think. Oh, on the bone. Okay. Get this out of the way. So now I don't have to worry about foil ripping and the juice running out and them drying out on me. So we have them in our pans. Now, what I like to do, other than just, others will just put the juice, wrap them, let them go. I like to add a little bit more. I like to take an onion and put an onion in there with them. So I just have a medium-sized onion, and I'm just going to cut it in some, fairly large slices, just to throw in there. And we'll just put them, around the pan if you want to break them up a little. And this is going to add, believe it or not, a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to show you what we do at the end with these. So you serve multiple purposes, these onions, and you're going to love them. So I highly recommend you do this additional step. Okay, so I just have the extra onions around there. Now we'll just take, I'm using apple juice. Again, you can use a variety of juices if you want to try different flavors. Try cherry juice. You can try like a fruit juice medley. I'm just pouring it over the ribs, as you see, and I'm putting enough in the bottom of the pan just so they can more or less braise, because that's what they're going to be doing in this phase. The first phase was all about getting that internal flavor, and this phase is more about just getting them really tenderized and moist and keeping them that way. So I just have enough juice in there to, and I don't know if you can see, it's just enough basically to cover the bottom of the pan, and then when they steam and braise, they're going to get very tender. So I'm going to put these lids on and take them outside. So let's go back out there, put these on the Cabela's pellet grill, and set it for about 2 hours. Let's get going. Okay, now to complete our beginning of phase 2 here, we have our ribs, which you just saw me put in these containers with the apple juice and the onion. Now we're just going to put them back in the grill. Now the one difference I'm going to make to the pellet grill is I had it in high smoke mode. Now I'm just going to put it to a standard 225. 225 for 2 hours. We don't need the smoke because they're sealed. The smoke isn't going to do anything. So now we have it 225, 2 hours, and in 2 hours I'll meet you back here. Okay everybody, it's been 2 hours, so we're done with stage 2, where we have them covered with juice, and I have some onion in there. So we have some apple juice and some onion in the sealed containers for 2 hours at 225. So now we're going to take them inside and prep them for stage 3, where we sauce them up and do them for another hour. So let's take these inside and I'll show you how I sauce them up. Okay everybody, we're back from stage 2. I started to film me pouring them out and saucing them, and I had a slight malfunction with the camera, unfortunately, but you didn't miss much. All I did was take them out of the containers. I used the tongs and the spatula, and as you can see, they were so tender, they did break apart. So I did sauce the bottoms and the tops with some store-bought sauce. I just took a basting brush, and I just put it on here, and I made sure to put a very thick coating of sauce all around them. So do that, and one other key thing I wanted to cover was the apple juice and onions that they were cooking in for stage 2. Save that. I put it in a pot, and I'm actually going to cook this down a little bit and make it just a little bit thicker, and you'll see what I use that for. But this is like a liquid gold. If these are gold, this is liquid gold. So save your juice and onion mixture, put it in a pot, and just reduce it a little bit on a low burner. I'm going to do that. And one other key thing I wanted to mention was, as you see, these fell apart in quite a few pieces. They're very tender. So I'm using my smoking barbecue pans again. These are vented. They have vents to let the smoke come up through. If you're making these, I highly recommend you use a pan similar to this, or some type of barbecue screen, or like a barbecue mesh on top of your grill, because these are so tender they'll start falling apart if you try to flip them directly on the grill. So if you just do them out on the grill and try to flip them and sauce them up, they're so tender they're going to fall through. So I don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you either put some foil or some type of screening, or a vented barbecue smoking pan like this, so you don't lose your ribs into the grill. So I put them in here, sauced both sides. Let's go outside and start the final phase where we put them out there for 1 hour. Let's go outside. Okay, this is it, the last stage of the 3-2-1 process for the ribs in our Cabela pellet grill. So here we have them in our barbecue trays, all sauced up, and we're just going to put them in here. Now remember, about halfway through, at about 30 minutes in, I'm going to come back out here and put another layer of sauce on them. So just on the top, so I'm not going to flip them because they're so soft they're just falling apart. So it's 225, and I put it back into smoke mode, just add a little bit of extra smokiness to it. So it's going to be 1 hour, 225. You can choose smoke mode or not, it's up to you. We'll put sauce halfway in, and then we'll come back here and check them out and go for the final tasting. See you in about an hour. Okay, hello everybody, this is it. This is the last stage of the 3-2-1. We've had it on here for an hour at 215 to 225. I had it in the smoke mode. And they were sauced up. I came out 30 minutes into that hour and put an extra coating of sauce on top of everything. So what we'll do now is take them inside. I just wanted to give you a quick look. They look great. Smell delicious. So let me get a hold of these, take them inside, and we'll give them a taste. Okay, this is it, the moment we've been waiting for. As you saw, I just brought them in from outside. They were there for an hour. I put an extra coating of sauce out there. They look great. The sauce looks very caramelized and delicious. So let's see how we can do about getting these out. Now remember, between stage 2 and 3, when I took them out, they were falling apart on me big time. So let's see if I can try to keep these together to give a somewhat decent presentation. And we'll go for one more, huh? Let's try our luck. We're going pretty good so far. Let's leave it at that and not press our luck anymore. So, let me hold them up to the camera. Look at that. That looks fantastic. 3-2-1 baby back ribs on the Cabela pellet grill. They look awesome. Now, let me try. Actually, I'll just take a piece out of here, if I can. Try a piece of this. Oh. The flavors, the whole 3-2-1 recipe, it works great every time. I gotta try another piece here. Super tender, smoky, the dry rub. To be honest, I can't tell the difference between which one had the mustard and which one didn't, if you recall from step 1. But there's one more thing before we go. I want to show you, you can just eat the ribs plain, as I'm doing right here. But one of my favorite things to do is to make a rib wedge. So let's see if I can just grab some of this, pull the bone right out. You saw how tender that was. Here's some more meat. So we have a little bit of rib meat here. If you want maybe a little extra sauce, some extra sauce on there, maybe some on the bun. Now remember, I told you to save that apple juice and onion mixture. I cooked it down a little bit. It's kind of rich, but it's also very sweet with the caramelized onions. This is like the liquid gold. This is what I save it for, to put a little bit on a sandwich, and it just really kicks it up quite a few notches. So we have our sandwich. Now another great thing to be is if you had some coleslaw, maybe you'd like to put some coleslaw on top of there and give it a try. Or maybe I can put some crunchy pickles on it. Make a delicious sandwich like that. So you could make, this is again a terrific way to serve this, not just plain as ribs, but make a delicious rib wedge. And I'm going to give this bad boy a taste. This is what I've been waiting for. 6 hours for this. Mmm. Mmm. This is fantastic. Mmm. You really owe it to yourself to try this recipe. I gotta try one more bite, excuse me. Mmm. Mmm. I'm so excited. So, I highly recommend you try this recipe, the 3-2-1. The Cabela's pellet grill, I really like. I talked about the features in the beginning. I just want to go over them one more time in case you're looking for a pellet grill. It has the window on the hopper to show you the level of the pellets. It also has the hopper chute to change flavors. If you want to change from hickory to mesquite, apple, cherry, you can change the whole hopper out real easily. It has the window on the cooking chamber, and it also has the very unique cup on the bottom to empty out the ashes. Otherwise, all the other brands want you to take a shop vac, disassemble it from the top, and suck everything out. With the Cabela's or the Camp Chef who makes for Cabela's, you just have that cup, you pull a lever, it empties it in the ash cup. You take the ash cup, 30 seconds, you have the ashes cleaned out. It's great. So I highly recommend that grill. I love it a lot. And the 3-2-1 rib recipe, it's fantastic. 3 hours with a dry rub, $2.25. 2 hours with apple juice and onions covered, either wrapped in foil or in a covered pan like I did. Then 1 hour open with sauce. As you see, it's so tender, I can't keep it together. And the taste is fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it, either more smoking videos or pellet grill videos, let me know the different types of recipes you'd like me to make in it, or if it's something totally different. Please leave it in a note in the comment section, question, comment. Please press the thumbs up, like, subscribe buttons, hit that little notification bell to let you know when I post a new video. And again, I thank you for watching. Now I'm going to enjoy some of these ribs. I gotta have another bite. The best ribwich ever. You gotta make this. Another pickle. The best ribs in the world. Look at these. Now that's what I'm talking about.